3 Ks to the top.
Well, he's emptying the tank here. Groupama rider of Huns.
And when he's done, does Kench attack? Now we're seeing at the back the black colours of Warbass. He's been caught behind Miguel Biao. He's trying to close the gap, but he's paying the price for riding at the rear of the group.
Yeah, he didn't look super either, Warbass. He's a favourite of mine. I would have loved to have seen him fighting for the win today, but he just didn't look super comfortable. Couple more gaps opening up here. So for Groupama, it's working.
That was Marcus Hulgaard, and trying to close the gap is Toon Arts. He was second yesterday. He is super fast. And FDJ know they need to get rid of him, but he is clawing his way back with Donovan behind him.
And I tell you who looks good, Simon, Steuven. Steuven, it looks like he's just sitting there in about 6th wheel. He's not rocking and rolling. So at the moment, he's quite comfortable.
Well, so far, the 4 big favourites in this group look really strong, really comfortable. But Hunes is doing an awesome job on the final. We can expect a big acceleration now.
Here it goes. His teammates have done the job. They swing off. It's time for Kench to kick it in on the climb. Can the Kiwi cause chaos and ride away from the fastest sprinters?
We've had great support here by his teammates. Kench is looking very strong now, dragging 3 riders away on his wheel. Steuven couldn't follow.
Importantly, yes, Jasper can't stick with them. Donovan tries to come around. Toon Arts in the red colours, who was quick yesterday, he too is struggling. And Buzzato in the blue.
Well, the problem he's offloaded the bulk of them, but he's still got 3 on the wheel, so now he's got to make the decision, Kench. Does he swing off, flick the elbow and say, hey, come on, now you've got to help, or does he keep going it alone?
It's Bettiol behind him, Valgren, and then Leknenson.
Oh, Bettiol's pulling some faces there in 2nd position, but Kench is committed. He cannot afford to swing off right now, otherwise Leknenson and Valgren could attack straight over the top.
Valgren is looking composed, but he plays a great game of poker. He's the rider in 3rd spot. He checks across the shoulder.
Well, he checks across on his Scandinavian rival there, the Norwegian champion in 4th position. He is the most reputable climber in this lead group.
Mark Donovan is stuck in the middle, but he is slowly clawing his way back. The tempo eased off ever so slightly at the front. Toon Arts has not surrendered either. He's the rider in the red colours. Still 2 kilometres to climb.
Well, this group, they could make it back there with Jasper Steuven as well. So it's not done for any of these riders yet.
Well, the tempo has backed off significantly. Kench goes again.
Well, Kench swung off for a short period of time there. Bettiol came to the front in order to keep the pace high, but Kench could not help himself. He went straight to the front. He's kicking it again.
And this is the strategy for the team. Calling the shots back in the team car is Frédéric Goudon, the last French rider to win Paris-Roubaix. He knows about going on the charge.
Yeah, and they'd be watching the TV monitors from their car as well, so they'd be giving the update to Kench saying, you've got them on the edge, just keep pushing. And sometimes you do, you just got to back yourself in.
Well, the steepest gradients of this climb are still to come. Leknenson now trying his luck, pushing forwards.
But this is the one rider from this group who has been a top 10 finisher overall in the Giro d'Italia. It's not souplesse, it's not pretty, it's pure strength. He is muscling his way up the climb.
Well, you see, created a little gap there. Bettiol in 2nd position, a few lengths behind, looks under his arm to see if Kench is on his wheel.
And this is the problem for Kench and Groupama. They laid it all out there, but it's cost him just a little bit, hasn't it, the effort, because he's starting to fade now, Kench. He's gone deep, he's gone red zone, and at some point you have to recover.
He's been waiting patiently, Leknenson. He was in the breakaway a few days ago. Stage 8 it was, in fact, and he finished 2nd to Jonathan Narvaez. He's making every opportunity of this climb. Bettiol is still in the hunt.
1.2 kilometres to go. The gradient is really going to start to ramp up soon, up to 10%.
And now Kench finds himself with Valgren, and it's not over yet.
No, this is good. If Kench and Valgren can stay together, Valgren will definitely work over the other side. He's just got to nurse himself. He knows he does across the climb, but those two will almost have the advantage, because you think, they'll be able to come back to Bettiol if Bettiol hasn't already caught the leader here.
It was in this race 3 years ago that Andreas Leknenson announced himself. He finished second on a stage from a breakaway in week 1. He spent 5 days in the pink jersey and he finished in 8th position overall. This guy can seriously climb.
Well, he's obviously tasted success here. He knows what it takes to deliver big results at the Giro d'Italia, and he's timed his acceleration to perfection. He let Kench, he let Groupama FDJ do the majority of the work at the base of the climb, but once the gradient's ramped up, he has made his move.
Bettiol is coming back.
Bettiol's he's managed his climb really well, hasn't he? He wanted to keep the tempo high even when Kench swung off. As you said, he rolled through, so he was happy with that tempo. This hasn't been as good, however, he's just kept Leknenson on a tight leash. He's got him there in front of him. You can see he took a little bit of look over to the left shoulder. So the race is ahead of him, though, and if he can just keep Leknenson in his sights, I'm pretty confident he'll catch him down the other side.
He's looking much more consistent in his effort, Bettiol. Meanwhile, Leknenson is in and out of the saddle, and he is suffering.
Well, he knows he's got to offload Bettiol. He knows properly. He can't afford a 50-metre margin. He needs 300 to 400 metres because he'll be nervous about Bettiol catching him in the final.
Bettiol is on his way back.
And Bettiol, he is timing his effort to perfection here. He's keeping Leknenson, just within his sights, within one short acceleration of joining his wheel. Because also, once they get to the summit of this climb in 500 metres time, it doesn't descend immediately. It plateaus across the top before it drops down towards the finish line.
Alberto Bettiol, we've spoken about it a few times. There's not many wins in his career, but all of them are monumental, including a stage previously at the Giro, a Grand Tour victory that he's hunting once again. He's been the national champion and he's been the winner of the Tour of Flanders.
And you're right, he's more in control because he's pedalling higher cadence. Look at the cadence compared to Leknenson, and that's just different styles, so that's okay, whatever works best. But he's going to recover quicker, I think, as they go across the top. He'll probably be able to accelerate a lot faster across that false flat, as you said, Simon. It doesn't immediately go down. Whereas you can just see Leknenson, he's sort of wrestling with the bike a bit, isn't he?
Almost at the top of the climb. When Bettiol won a stage in the Giro 5 years ago, there was a breakaway. It was similar terrain to this. There was a climb that topped out with 10 Ks to go. He went across the top and he descended down to victory solo. This is a sense of deja vu.
We can handle his bike, and he's timed his effort oh so well. Now nearing the summit of this climb, Bettiol coming back and going straight over the top.
Can Leknenson respond? No, he can't. Bettiol is seizing the moment. It's always the final few hundred metres on a climb of this duration where the most damage is done, and it's Bettiol who is damaging the hopes of all of Norway.
It's tactical now to perfection, isn't it? He's done his homework, Bettiol.
He's gone over the top with a record on this climb, a significant record at that. 1 minute and it's 10 seconds quicker than previously.
Leknenson now, he is crushed. The fact that Bettiol went past him with such speed while he was on his limit, Leknenson had just simply no answers.
2 minutes and 10 seconds quicker than previously. They've flown up the climb. Kench, the Kiwi, after having done so much work, then it's Valgren.
And I think, well, it's proof now, isn't it, that world-class rider in Bettiol, he was absolutely fine where he was. He was keeping Leknenson on a leash, and at the same time, he was just watching for the danger from behind. There was no danger, so he said, okay, I'll just stay at this 50 metres. I don't need to close it now. I'll give this man, the Norwegian, a false sense of security. He kept boxing on. He turned himself inside out. And now Bettiol, barring an incident, he should be able to ride away now for victory.
20-second advantage. And here we see a replay of the attack. 150 metres from the top, he accelerates, goes in and out of the slipstream of the Norwegian rider, squeezes through against the crowds there, and just kicks on. By the time he gets to the summit of his climb, he already has 50 metres advantage.
Yeah, he was already out of sight, wasn't he? Very quickly.
And Leknenson was panicking about the return of Bettiol.
Yeah, he was turning himself inside out. For him, the finish line you know, for him potentially in his head to win the race was the top of the climb. If he could have a decent enough gap,
¿Quién ataca? ¿Quién ataca? ¿Quién salió?
but it's cost him dearly.
Bettiol, he's not there yet, but what a Giro this has been for XDS Astana. He's on target to collect their third team stage victory, and with 3 different riders.
We said he doesn't win often, but
Game so far.
yeah, for a guy who's won a monument, it's phenomenal, isn't it? That he's only got 8 wins.
Well, he's using the entire road here, but he doesn't need to take any big risk. He can afford to just try and recover through these corners without really pushing the pace too high, because there's still 11 kilometres left to race. So he needs to stay on the pedals on these straights and on the flatter sections.
Half of it is downhill, and I'm backing Bettiol against Liechtenstein in a downhill time trial.
Yeah, I am. He's a pretty good bike handler as well, and he's doing everything right, isn't he? We saw that last shot of Bettiol. He was freewheeling, so he's just giving himself some recovery. And when he does get on those the sort of flatlands towards the finish line, that's where he'll really put the power down.
We just saw the results for the Red Bull Intermediate Sprint. They're inconsequential, really, today. It was Axel Hunes ahead of his teammate Josh Kench, and then it was Bettiol. But Bettiol significantly over the top of the climb first, and the margin is growing.
Yeah, Bettiol, looking back, and his tactics there on the Category 4 climb, he sat quite close to the front. As soon as Jacobs pulled off the front, Bettiol went through just to assure the pace stayed high. So he was also really keen just to neutralise everything in that breakaway until they hit the steeper section of that climb. So tactically, he's ridden brilliantly.
Frustrating day for this Italian, though. The hometown hero, Filippo Ganna, tried multiple times at the start to get into the breakaway, but he was so heavily marked.
Yeah, very heavily marked. And as you said, it wasn't like they were trying to cancel him out of it. They just knew that he was a good thing and a good wheel to be on to make the break of the day. And a few of them cancelled themselves out in that process.
Pink jersey, he's still got 2 teammates with him. He's got Zambanini and Caruso. And they're on the lower slopes of the final climb.
Yo y la mala costumbre de recostarme en la silla.
Bouncing out of each of the corners. He's got victory in his nostrils.
Yeah, he'd be fully aware at this point in time, this is his race to lose. So he doesn't need to take any crazy risks through these corners. He needs to keep it under control.
Se viene el remate de la carrera, muchachos. Bueno, 9 kilómetros para que se acabe la carrera el día de hoy, la etapa 13, 9 kilómetros para que termine la etapa. Y me estoy poniendo al día. Tuvimos inconvenientes por estuvimos un poquito fuera del aire por el inconveniente con el fluido eléctrico. Bueno, como comentaba anteriormente en el chat, el fluido eléctrico se nos va. Muchas veces se nos cae el fluido eléctrico, pero estamos viendo aquí nuevamente el Giro de Italia. Bueno, estamos viendo aquí nuevamente la etapa 13 y espero que ustedes lo disfruten igual que yo. Vamos a ver, creo que hay un ataque nuevamente. O sea, se fue uno. Vamos a ver quién es.
With the rest of the breakaway, he has dropped.
We'll vote for the most combative. Yesterday, the most combative prize, that went to the attack with 3 kilometers to go for Alex Segard.
Y ahí está.
You'd be brave to bet against.
Y ahí está el código de barra para que ustedes lo escaneen y voten ahora mismo por el ciclista favorito, por el favorito de ustedes. El código de barra para que voten hoy. ¿Quién?
Seeing some real experience, some real tactical nous on show, and you know you could argue that Groupama and Kench, if they had have held back, Kench may have been able to go because he did a big effort, but it cost him dearly. And if he had sat back and just tried to follow the likes of Bettiol, but you live and you learn, and he's still young and developing, Kench, so he'll learn a lot from that.
Well, I feel like Kench was backed into a corner. He had to accelerate where he accelerated because he ran out of teammates. Yeah. The tactics of Groupama FDJ were blatantly obvious once they put Jacobs and then Hunes on the front. So ultimately, they needed just to wait a bit longer and try and get Kench a little bit further up the climb for when those steep gradients really kicked in for him to make his moves.
Yeah.
This is Andreas Liechtenstein. He did have a teammate in the breakaway with him. That was Marcus Hulgaard. He now finds himself at 19 seconds behind. And for him, it is a sense of deja vu. When he was in the break on stage 8 with Jonathan Narvaez, Narvaez attacked on the final climb with just a few hundred meters to go.
Vettel ataca, Vettel atacó, faltando 7 kilómetros. Vettel va a atacar. Estamos viendo en estos momentos en pantalla a Lekenshot. Y ahí está, Vettel atacando adelante de la carrera. Vettel tratando de alcanzarlo. Y el pelotón se quedó 11 minutos.
Well, once again, Vettel taking a beautiful line through those corners. You can see him swinging out wide, taking the nice apex through the corners. So not taking huge risks, but really making sure he uses the entire road marker.
Yeah, he is. He's riding conservatively when he can, where he knows he won't lose too many seconds, and when he needs to put the power on, which is these sections right here, sort of straight sections of road, he's just really on the gas. And he's taking the quickest way home. Wheel just bumped a little bit there.
Well, it's 2 years since his last win, and that was the National Championships. That was back in 2024. His last World Tour victory was the prologue at the Tour Down Under in 2023. Prior to that, it was stage 18 of the Giro d'Italia 5 years ago, and the biggest win of his career was 7 years ago, his first ever win at the Tour of Flanders. He's about to add another World Tour victory to his list of honours, if he gets through the last 5.5 kilometres safely.
Well, the adrenaline's high, isn't it? And no matter what you're hearing from your team car, he'd be hearing probably 19 seconds. You know it's not enough. You don't want to ease up. So you're going full gas. You're taking risks. You know, you're trying to minimise the risks you take, but you're still taking a couple of risks. And this is the replay just from before. Watch the wheel. Just a bit of a bump there. Oh yeah, absolutely. Lifted off the road. It's things like that.
Put that mistake down to fatigue.
Yeah, well, you see the shade here too. It's pretty easy to miss some things like that.
Oh, this is a good sign for Vettel, because Liechtenstein all of a sudden is worried about what is coming from behind.
Well, we just see if we can read into the distance there. Vettel just went through 4.5 kilometres to go, while Liechtenstein had 5 kilometres to go. So he's 500 metres up the road right now.
Yeah, that's a big margin with this amount of distance still to go. There's a look at the terrain over the last few kilometres.
Well, it doesn't change too much, does it? They're down on the level of the lakes and of Lake Maggiore, so pretty fast roads too around this part of the world. Very quick indeed, so it'll be a quick run in.
A couple of quick corners to come here. He's about to make a right and a left as they go across the river, and then one more right-hand turn before they make the journey down along the lake. And then at 1 kilometre to go, it is a really tight right-hand corner, and then it sweeps through to the left eventually onto the finish line. Liechtenstein is really worried about what's coming from behind.
Yeah, he's got to look ahead, doesn't he? And I mean, it's incredible that, I don't know if the clock's broken, the gap at the 19 seconds has not moved since effectively Vettel established that initial break across the top. It went to 19 seconds and it's just stayed there. So they're both riding equally as strong as each other.
Oh, he's taking some risk now, pushing through those corners. He didn't know what was on there.
Lekenshot hace todo lo que puede, pero no recorta. Siguen los 19 minutos, o los 19 minutos para Vettel, no, segundos, 19 segundos para Vettel a 5 kilómetros para la meta. Y ha terminado la bajada.
Smoothest part of the road. It's all guns are blazing for Alberto Vettel. 3 kilometres to go.
Well, he won't lose any time through the corners, I don't imagine. He's railed it through that section there. Takes a quick glance over his shoulder. He's got good cadence though. He's been pedalling well ever since he got away.
And he's got just one tight corner to come. Earpieces out, he's focused on the job at hand.
Well, he'll be looking ahead, chasing those motorbikes ahead of him, following those lines through the corners as well from the motorbikes up front of the race. But as you mentioned, Matt, fantastic cadence. He rode a nice cadence up the climb, just followed his rivals, just watched the situation, and it was only one attack he needed to make.
Peloton now over the top of the climb. So they're still tracking at 10 kilometres behind the leaders. Sepp Kuss in the yellow colours, Damien Caruso for Bahrain victorious. It's been a load of work on the shoulders of the domestiques from that team supporting the pink jersey.
And all neutral on the GC front. I thought we might have seen some of these rivals sort of testing one another at the end of what has been a long, hot stage today.
Well, they've got the Year 12 exam tomorrow. It's a big one tomorrow. Lots of climbing, more than 4,000 metres worth of altitude gain in 133 Ks.
And we see the gap now between Bettiol and Lechtensen has increased, Macca, to 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So finally we have an update.
Yeah, it's blown out a bit, hasn't it? Just in the last kilometre, in fact. So Lechtensen starting to fade here. He'd be a bit demoralised, as you mentioned, already second on a stage. Similar circumstances. He'll be kicking himself a little bit if he goes back and watches the replay, the highlights.
He's had a good Giro, Lechtensen. He's been in plenty of breakaways. He keeps on flying the flag, but he's so close to a win. He's second place finish this year. The third in his career.
Yeah, he's not done. He's not done. He misses out today. He's missed out twice. But he's still in with a shot.
He might not get second.
Yes,
because
that's
Jasper
true.
Stuyven is closing in with Donovan, Valgren and Kench.
And they have him in their sights as well, but it looks like Stuyven is just trying to encourage Donovan to go through, continue with the chase, because they have second place within their sights.
And no wonder he is nervously looking across his shoulder. 1 kilometre, the kite is about to be upon Alberto Bettiol. The final corner, the final tight one, sweeping around to the right, and then it gently goes through to the left in the last kilometre, and then he'll see the finish line.
Well, all the difficulties are now behind him. Alberto Bettiol, inside the last kilometre of this stage, rode a tactically brilliant race. He can really enjoy these last few 100 metres. They don't come often, but when they come for Bettiol, they come big.
The job is almost done for Alberto Bettiol, but he's not easing off the pedals yet.
He's not. He's going to ride it all the way in until the last couple of hundred. Then he'll sit up and enjoy it. And the crowd, they will know that it's an Italian racing in to win the stage.
Finally, he eases off the pedals. He knows the job is done. A little fist pump from Alberto Bettiol. He knows the finish line officials. He knows where the finish line is. He gets there for the second time in his career as a stage winner in the Giro d'Italia. His first ever victory was the Tour of Flanders. That was 7 years ago. He was a Giro stage winner 5 years ago. Bettiol has bounced back, and today's been the best. It's Bettiol who takes out the stage. XDS Astana with their third stage victory. Lechtensen survives for second.
The big celebrations in the Astana camp tonight. That's going to be a super popular win in Italy as well.
And now the sprint for third place. Jasper Stuyven ahead of Michael Valgren. Donovan is trying to challenge. Kench is there. Stuyven leads them across.
Oh, yeah, big celebrations. His partner there as well. They're trying to hold her back. She would have nothing of it, but yeah, it's a popular win. He is a class rider, isn't he?
I think those who are waiting for him could get the most combative prize today.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, nothing was going to hold them back. He's got a throng of cameras, posse, and they all want to congratulate him.
Oh, you can feel the adrenaline coursing through his body.
Yeah. That's a good win.
He had the pressure and he had the answers.
That looked like Paolo Bettini, in fact, the great Italian, congratulating him.
Michael Bial coming through. Uzzato, the next one, followed then by Hugard, Sevilla, and Warbas.
Well, that was a lesson of how to get it done. And the rest of that breakaway, they should go back and watch that last 15 kilometres and aspire to be like someone like Alberto Bettiol, or at least tactically, because he absolutely just taught them all a lesson of how to get the job done and how to, you know, slip under the radar. And how can someone like that slip under the radar? But he did it beautifully.
Well, it was precision, wasn't it? And he played his cards perfectly. He backed himself to be able to go on the hardest section of the climb. He neutralised the breakaway by keeping the pace high for a large part of it, but when he accelerated across the top there of that final climb, he left nothing to chance. He blasted past Lichtenstein, opened up a gap immediately, and just time trialled the victory. And you can see how popular the win is as well.
Yeah, no, it was a masterclass.
Marquee rider on XDS Astana. He delivers them a marquee result. Their third stage victory this year. The peloton's still coming. They'll get to the finish line eventually.
When you unwrap an Uncle Toby's muesli bar, you're unwrapping a slice of pure... It delivers the only good stuff. Leaving you feeling, well...
Y un poquito de inconvenientes con aquí el software que usamos para transmitir, pero esta es la noticia: Alberto Bettiol gana la etapa 13 del Giro de Italia y estamos esperando que lleguen los demás, que llegue el pelotón para saber si Alberto Bettiol cuánto tiempo le descuenta a Alfonso Eloalio. Ya estoy buscando por acá el ranking oficial, un momentico. En este momento se encuentran en publicidad, por esa razón no tengo con la imagen. Ya volvemos con el Giro de Italia, etapa 13, donde Alberto Bettiol gana la etapa con una cantidad de minutos. Una cantidad de minutos importante, donde vamos a mirar si de pronto alcanza. A ver. Buscando por acá el resumen del Giro, buscando por acá en la página oficial lo que sería el ranking, buscando por acá la victoria del día de hoy de Alberto Bettiol. El pelotón todavía no ha cruzado la línea de meta. Bettiol, Lockenson, Stumben fueron finalmente 26 minutos de diferencia entre el primero y el segundo en la meta de Verbavia. El tercero con Stull, Valgren cuarto y Donovan quinto a 44 segundos. XGDS Astana ya saborea el tercer triunfo parcial. Bueno, el tercer triunfo del Giro de Italia. Y Bettiol ganó por aplastamiento. Por detrás de los favoritos coronan juntos. Y aquí tenemos el top 10 en Verbavia mientras esperamos a los favoritos. Alberto Bettiol llegó de primero, Andreas Lekinson segundo, Jasper Stuyven tercero, Jasper Stuyven cuarto, Michael Bargren, quinto, Mark Donovan, sexto, John Skenk, 7, Mike Baker, octavo, Francesco Bussato, noveno, Marcus Orgard y décimo, Diego Pablo Sevilla.
You won.
Today, in theory, I won already before the start because I had all my family here and my second family because, of course, my girlfriend and all her family is from Verbania, so I consider Verbania my second house. And having all of them, my brother, my father, my mom, and all my really few people that always have been around me, it was already for me a victory, but winning like this is something I will bring forever with me, and doesn't matter if it was 2 years since I won, but if I win like this, I'm ready to win every 2 years.
Has it helped you to know the climb compared to the Norwegian rider who was in front of you?
Yes, as I told, I knew every single corner in the last 50K because sometimes I train here, and actually I saw this climb a couple of months ago with a bike, with a motorbike, and I saw several times the filming of the downhill, and I knew that the last K was really strong. I expect somebody like Attack stronger from the climbers because for me it's really at the limit this climb, but I knew that the shape was good, and also the fact that I knew the climber really helped me, and that's how I won.
Your first win for Astana, is it a relief?
Yeah, I'm so happy to have won finally with this jersey. I'm happy because, you know, Vino really believed in me 2 years ago, and he really wanted me in his team, and finally I pay him back. And I think in general all of my team, my teammates did a really amazing Giro so far. So I'm happy that I'm one of, like I can also put like part of this amazing Giro d'Italia for us.
Complimenti.
Grazie.
Well, the homework has paid dividends, just like yesterday. However, if I'm management at XDS Astana, I'm taking the whole family, both sides, his family and the girlfriend's family, to every major race that he rides next time.
Yeah, there was. Well, I wasn't aware of that his girlfriend's and family are from here, and the fact that he'd done some motor pace sessions up this climb. So there was a real, you know, advantage, you can say, over Leknesund, and it wasn't just tactical nous, it was homework.
And it really shows the difference that those sort of things make. Having trained on the roads, having ridden on, he said, his second home roads up here, to know exactly how to time his effort on that climb. So when Kench accelerated, when Leknesund went over the top, he knew he just had to bide his time for those last few 100 metres where it got really steep.
And it sounds like he expected the climbers to go harder up the climb, to stretch him more than they did.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. He did. He expected a couple more, didn't he? And, I mean, that's what Groupama probably needed. They needed, you know, one other rider to maybe kick proceedings off, and it might have saved Kench to do his big effort towards the end.
Domino Caruso leading the pink jersey of Eulalio in. Groupama FDJ, they had 3 riders in the breakaway group of 15. Their finished positions were 6th, 14th and 15th.
Well, they weren't all in on their Kiwi rider in Josh Kench. They tried to set him up. If they had the knowledge of these roads that Alberto Bettiol had, then I think they would have gone about this very differently. They were motivated, they were committed, but they went too early, and they left Kench isolated with too far to go on the climb. They needed to get him around another 2 kilometres further up the climb so he could wait and he could accelerate on those steeper sections. Then I think he was probably a chance of actually going over the top by himself. Whether he would have stayed away or not, we will never know, but I think if he had kept his accelerations to the hardest point, the most selective point of the climb, he would have had a much bigger impact.
So they didn't quite get the tactics right, but you cannot criticise their intent.
No, that's right. you know, they've thrown it all out there, win at all costs, or you know, don't get the result. And 6th isn't terrible. It's not the best result they wanted. And you cancel out the other 2 because they spent themselves. So 14th and 15th, that's what you expect when you've got 2 teammates that are going to empty the tank for you. So, and again, it's a learning experience for Josh Kench. I mean, he's still put in a great ride. He's climbed himself up the standings a little bit as well. So that's good for the morale. And they'll look further afield now to see what opportunities they've got.
I'm anticipating that he's gone into overdraft and tomorrow's going to pay the price.
Yeah, could well do.
Caruso leading the peloton through. They're inside 2 kilometres to go. Another day in the pink jersey for Afonso Eulalio. Is this his last?
Well, who knows? He's been performing above and beyond expectation every day of this Giro d'Italia. So the young Portuguese sensation in this race just could surprise us once again in tomorrow's stage. But as far as Kench and how he handles tomorrow's stage, if you're chasing stages in the Grand Tour, you are treating every single stage like a one-day race. So they won't be thinking about tomorrow at all if they're in the breakaway today. They're thinking about their opportunity to win on that specific day.
In this group, 4 key Australians in this group: Ben O'Connor, Jai Hindley, Michael Storer and Chris Harper. Callum Scotson's a good chance to be there as well for the decathlon team. There he is. He's protecting Felix Gall. Maybe Jack Haig has still survived in this group also to look after Tymon Arensman. Calm before the storm today, and tomorrow's going to be the mountain storm.
Yeah, it does look as though all the general classification favourites have taken today as easy as they can.
Good news for Ben O'Connor. Kun Bauman is still in this group, so should have some support throughout the mountains tomorrow. Yeah,
that is a good sign. I noticed that Kun Bauman just towards the back there, but it's a pretty small reduced group, and they didn't completely attack hard, so could be in fact 2 or 3. Another, 2 more. Another Jake O'Lula rider. So 2 Jake O'Lula riders there for Ben O'Connor. So that's good news.
That was Alan Hatherley, the South African, the mountain biker that was still there with him, who has the least amount of elite level road race days of anybody in this peloton.
Yeah, he's been impressive, and even Ben O'Connor said a couple of nights ago, courtesy of Mitch Docker, reaching out to him, he said, look, he seems like he's getting better. Hatherley, that is. As this race progresses, he's learning each day. He's soaking it up like a sponge, so that's good news.
Probably wondering when people are going to start calling him a road rider.
Yeah.
The islands within this lake are stunning.
Yeah, you've got to do it. If you're ever in this region, it's a pretty cheap ferry ride. They just take you around the islands. From the shore, you can barely see these islands, by the way. This aerial shot, you'd think you would, they'd stand out, but they don't. It's a very, very big lake.
Another day in the pink jersey for Afonso Eulalio.
Okay. Ciao ragazzi. Ciao. Ciao Alfonso. Buon pomeriggio.
It hasn't taken long for the smile to arrive. It's the most stressed he has looked throughout any stage, yet he's still got an infectious smile. Now, Jonas Vingegaard, really important day for him tomorrow, and he is continuing, Gero, to be warming down on the time trial bike. Is this with an eye on July and the Tour?
I can't think why else he'd be warming down on his time trial bike. This is a bit strange for me, that he would continue to jump on and off his road bike through the back end of this Giro d'Italia when there are no more time trials ahead, just to remind everybody as well.
I'm glad you say that. Sometimes I think I'm too far out of the sport as an athlete, and I'm thinking I won't make that call. But for you to say it, because I do think it's strange for the exact reasons you just said. He no doubt does enough riding on his TT bike and preparation, etc., etc. The 15-20 minutes he's doing here each day, surely it's actually more important to just be on the road bike.
Well, here is the general classification. Eulalio leads by 33 seconds. Arensman at 2:03, followed by Felix Gall, Ben O'Connor, Jai Hindley, Michael Storer, Derek G, Giulio Parizzari, and is Chris Harper, who rounds out the top 10. The podium presentations, they'll be coming up shortly.
Cost of living driving you crazy? What if safe driving could speed up your savings? Eligible Amy customers can unlock cashback rewards from participating retailers like IGA, Maya, Amazon.com.au and more.
Lucky you're with Amy.
T's and C's apply.
Need a sofa.
A sofa in case of guests. Will it match the blinds? Extra cushions cost what? Why make a chaotic decision when I can make a calm one, a comfortable one with clarity, and stands the test of time? Eva. Good design makes deciding easy.
At Australian Ethical, we've been investing ethically for nearly 40 years. We work to grow your retirement savings and don't sacrifice integrity for performance. So you can feel confident your money's invested to build the future you want for yourself, your family, and our world. Because when your super prospers, we all thrive.
Crisp.
Light.
And refreshed.
Yeah.